What's up, y'all? And thanks for stopping by the Surge T channel. I am Surge T, and in this video, we'll be talking about AEW Dynamite Fyter Fest Night 2. And in the first match, we see the first labor of Jericho, and it is, as we know, Shawn Spears can use a chair. Jericho can't. The match was very physical. It's what we come to expect from this type of a match. I've seen this kind of matches before where someone couldn't get disqualified, but the other one could. The person can use whatever, and another person can't. His opponent can't. Same thing here. In the end, though, Jericho hit the Judas effect, and he picked up the victory, and he wins the first labor. Then MJF doesn't hesitate, and he reveals that the second labor is a no DQ match against Nick Gage. And this is a man who was featured in a Dark Side of the Ring episode. Those of you who are familiar with him, this dude is a guy who nearly bled to death during a match where he, if I remember it correctly, he went through through glass, and it sliced him open, and I think he flatlined like 2 times during the helicopter flight. I'm trying to remember because it's been a while since I watched that episode. But this is a guy that, he's going to be in this match. Jericho is going to have to bring something to this match. I don't envy Jericho. This is a guy, Nick Gage, that pretty much you don't care about his life. You don't care about his health. And let's see what happens when it's him and Jericho in that second labor's second second labor of Jericho match. Now, Miro the Redeemer in 2 weeks in Jacksonville will defend his TNT title, but against who? 2 weeks, and we'll see. Doc Gallows of the Elite versus the Elite Hunter, Frankie Kazarian, and a big seated powerbomb by Gallows puts Kaz down for the count, and after a magic killer by Gallows and Anderson, the world's champ, Kenny Omega came down the aisle, and Omega, did he flub or botch the easiest thing to say? Like he said that Kazarian, the Elite Hunter, has become. He pauses, and then Doc Gallows is in his. Doc Gallows is in his ear, and then he goes, you know what I mean? He needed to whisper in his ear and remind him. Like Omega then says, the Elite Hunter has become the hunted. Like I'm like going, did he flub that? Like it wouldn't surprise me how awful these guys are on promo and how awful they are. They can be. So it doesn't surprise me that he if he flubbed it or not, because it seemed like that. It didn't seem like he was being sarcastic and going, oh, I don't know who he is or that, because he said the lead hunter, and then he couldn't say the easiest thing has become the hunted. I even said it to myself, and he still was Here comes Don Callis, like it's so stupid, And then Hangman Adam Page hits the ring and takes on the Elite all alone. But not for long, as Dark Order joins the fray and connects with Anderson with a buckshot lariat, does Hangman. And I'm sure you would like to do that to Kenny Omega. Now, Brian Cage is backstage, and next week, Team Taz has a celebration for the new FTW champ, Nicky Starks. What's his name? Ricky Starks. And Cage will be there. He says he likes the celebration. I'll be there. Now, Wheeler Yuta versus Darby Allin. Wheeler Yuta has Orange Cassidy in his corner, and Sting is going to be in Darby Allin's corner. And Sting and Orange, it's funny. There's a thing outside that they were trading Orange Cassidy kicks and punches. How he just taps, and then they both go do a side kick, and he lightly touch toes, and then Darby Allin's like, "What are you guys doing?" And then You know, and you would think that it's gonna distract him. It didn't. It didn't distract Darby Allin, and he coffin drop and wins the match. He hits that, and in the end, and Yuta loses again, and then Blade attacks Cassidy, dropping him with a punch that may have been loaded with brass knucks. Want to put it past the Blade. Now the women's title match with Dr. Britt DMD, Dr. Britt Baker DMD, and of course she defends her gold against Nyla Rose, and then we see a lockjaw and the Native Beast taps to the Good Doctor. And still your women's world champ, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, and she didn't have it locked in that tight. Like, it's just like, if you're gonna make it impressive that you made the Native Beast tap, how about you secure it in a little bit more? Because it looks like it just was on her lip, or right there at the tip of her teeth, you know. And I think that Nyla Rose was selling it so that it made it look like she was, that it was locked in good. But regardless, Nyla Rose fails in her attempt to become a two-time champ, and Britt Baker, she's gonna hold the title for quite a long time. I think she's probably gonna go longer than Hikaru Shida. Speaking of Hikaru Shida, where was she? I didn't see her. Come on, bring her up. Hopefully, next week for a Fight of the Fallen. Let's see. Now, FTR versus Santana and Ortiz next week at Fight for the Fallen. And that's going to be one of those matches. And I'm going to definitely hope to see a banger of a match between those two teams. So let's move on. Andrade El Idolo introduces his executive consultant, Paul Heyman. I'm not saying Paul Heyman is going to, but it's like Paul Heyman isn't that what he is to Roman Reigns, right? Are they trying to take from that or something? But introduce him as the consultant as Chavo Guerrero. And then we see the Death Triangle appear after Chavo says that there is no one as talented as Andrade. And they let it be known that triangle that they hide from no one. This was said by Pac. But Andrade says Penta and Felix work for him. Pretty bold to say that. But the triangle are family. It says, it's a reminder from Pac. Says, these guys, we don't work for nobody. We don't work for each other. We are a team. We work together. And they try to attempt to jump them in the ring, but Chavo and Andrade jump out the ring, and so that's heating up. Been very interested in that, making me think that possibly the Lucha Bros might join Andrade. That would be a tough, pretty solid faction right there. But in the meantime, it's going to be Pac and and Lucha Bros together as Death Triangle. So let's see what happens. Anything can happen. That's something that we always see happen. So let's see what happens with that. Now, Hardy Family Office and Jurassic Express and Christian Cage collided earlier, and Cage puts out a challenge to the HFO, and that is next week. Jurassic Park and Cage versus Angelico and Private Party, that was revealed. And then the Factory will issue an apology to Tony Schiavone, because remember when he had a drink poured on him by QT Marshall and company. See what happens. Like, I really give a fuck about those guys. The weakest faction, I damn know, and that's a lot to say, because there's a lot of weak factions in AEW. There's only maybe out of the 30 factions that they have now. There's so many factions there. Maybe there's 3 of them that are like strong, but we'll see. Now, the Blade versus Orange Cassidy, and will he be okay to go after being clocked by the Blade? Well, Orange sneaks into the ring during their start of their match, and he takes it to the Blade. And on a side note, August 13th is the debut of AEW Rampage, which will be 10/9 Central on Friday. And I really like that promo, the thing that they have for it. Pretty damn good. I like the visuals. I like how they incorporate the superstars there. I mean, the wrestlers, they're not superstars. It's just not WWE. And I really like it. And it's gonna be kind of packed Friday night, man, because I watch for SmackDowns. I'm gonna be watching this as well. But I got no problem, man. I love AEW. I love the things that they put out, so I'll definitely check it out, because it's the first show. We got to at least give it that, give it a try, and say, hey, well, I'm gonna watch the first show, at least, see how it is. I was just thinking, like, I wonder if they're going to do a thing where they're going to put superstars on Dynamite and superstars on Rampage, but they probably won't because that's too much like WWE. What are you going to do? They're going to have their own draft. They're going to have their own, I don't think that's going to happen, but who knows? We'll see. Now, in the end, Sundog Millionaire by Cassidy, by Blade, Gut Wrench Bomb. Oh no, like it's not in the end. What am I talking about? Like Sundog Millionaire by Orange Cassidy, and then we see Blade do a Gut Wrench Bomb on a top turnbuckle. These guys traded moves like that, devastating moves like that. It was a back and forth affair, and even Chris Statlander made an appearance. And in the end, an Orange Punch levels the Blade and scores a 1-2-3. And with the Nux on, later on, he does a Orange Punch again, and he levels the Blade for good. And he's down on the mat, and he ain't getting up. Now next week, it's Nick Gage versus the Painmaker, Chris Jericho. He revealed that it's going to take somebody that I know, Jericho says, that can take it to Nick Gage. He turns it around and he has that familiar makeup that he had on during his time in New Japan when he was terrorizing all of the wrestlers there as the Painmaker. And I think that's definitely what the doctor ordered. Not Dr. Britt Baker, I might add, but definitely what he needed in order to take on Nick Gage. Now, next, also at Fight for the Fallen, I'm gonna go to because he showed the matches, maybe not all, but pretty good lineup. You got Santana versus Ortiz and Ortiz versus FDR, Christian Cage and Jurassic Park versus Angelico and Private Party. Hikuleo will face the winner of the Archer Mox IWGP US title match, and of course, Hikuleo is the son of Haku. I don't know why they keep saying King Haku. That's a WWE thing. It's a what do you call it? Who gives a shit title, because the King of the Ring has never been that great. Only for like the first few years. I don't even know if by the time Haku got it, because then he beat Harley Race for it, and it wasn't really taken seriously at that point. I think, So why are they referring to him as King Haku? They say Haku. That's who everybody knows him as. Now, have that, and then Tony Khan will make a major new live event announcement. So another thing that they're gonna add, because they have these live events. So because I'm thinking about the Dynamites, where the different types of Dynamites, Fight for the Fallen and Fyter Fest and like that. They even got Homecoming coming up because they're going back to Jacksonville, so they're calling that Homecoming. And speaking of that, let's finish it off. Also, there's going to be a 10-man elimination tag team match. And it's the Elite versus Hangman and Dark Order. If Hangman and Dark Order win that match, they get a tag team title shot for the Dark Order and a world title shot for Hangman Page. Hope that goes their way, because I want to see these guys be rewarded. Be able to go after gold, and that'd be great. Now, in 2 weeks' time, speaking of AEW Dynamite Homecoming, that's coming August the 4th, we'll be seeing Malachi Black versus Cody Rhodes. And remember when he made his return at Road Rager, well, not his return, but his debut, did Malachi Black. And we saw the carnage that he left, and that he, the destruction he put on Arn Anderson and Cody Rhodes. So Cody Rhodes is looking for some payback, and Malachi Black is looking to establish himself as the new, I guess the new heel, the new guy that's going to be taking over AEW and taking out everybody. Definitely on his way to, and on his path to a world title shot, maybe. Now, the IWGP US title match, champion Mox versus challenger Lance Archer, and 564 days as a champ. And he defends his title, though, against hometown favorite or home state favorite from Dallas, Texas himself. That's Lance Archer. And KO your opponent or make him submit. That's the rules. Now we see a fan be used as a weapon. This match was all over the place. It was wild. And then we see a paradigm shift on the exposed concrete. Then Mox even used a fork to see if Archer was done. You know, they say he stick the fork in to see if the guy's done. That's what he did to Archer and drew blood. And this was a damn physical match. And man, Archer was even busted open. Like I said, man, he got busted open and he was bleeding. And then even in the end, you know, later on, Mox was also, you know, himself was, you know, busted open. And there was even a sixth spot with a chokeslam by Archer, sending Mox through the back, like the, you know, back both the both you know, the back part of the chairs. They put them up against each other, so there's that arch right there, and then he choke bombed him or choke slammed him through that his back. You can see his body just stop and his head and his legs just, you know, went down. So it's just like boom, you know, like that. And I don't know how Mox was able to get through that. And maybe he wasn't able to because he wasn't the same after that. And then we then eventually see Archer send him another choke slam and sends John Moxley through a table that had those, you know, those plywood and has those barbed wires on it, you know, stuck to him, you know, attached to him. He goes right through those and the tables, and he wasn't able to get up for the 10 count. And we then see a new IWGP US champ, Lance Archer. And then we see Hikuleo step into the ring, all 7 feet of him. Dude's a big dude. Made Lance Archer look like a damn cruiserweight. Not in size or anything, but height. He was even taller than him. You know. And Archer's 6'8". And to tell you, Haku, man, he raised some big boys, man. You know, like, and some badasses too. Like, you know, Tama Tonga is his son too. You know, part of the Bullet Club. And I think Hikuleo is too. I'm not familiar with the guys, but I know that his son Tama Tonga also is in. Tama Tonga is his name, right? Because I'm thinking Tonga, being a Tongan kid, but I think it's Tama Tonga. He used to be Hunico in WWE. Remember when he was with the guy? Who was the guy that eventually? I think he was the one who played. Wasn't he the one that played? What do you call it? That played Sankara, right? I think so. But you know. That's way back then. And this thing, he's a badass now. He's really doing well in Japan. So, but yeah, that's it. That's what do you call it? That's the event. I don't know if it was as strong as the first night, but it was good. You know, I like the main event. I like the physicality. I like the blood. You know, both of them bleeding. There was at one point where what was it? Yeah, it was Lance Archer, and he's like going like this with the fork, you know. And Moxley's bleeding all over the place like a stuck pig, and so was what do you call it, and so was Lance Archer. And I'm happy that Lance Archer is the new what do you call it, the new US IWGP US champion. So now he has gold, and that's a good thing because even though it's from another company, but they have a working relationship with that company. So, you know, he's going to be bringing a title to the Dynamite as well, you know. So, and I mean AEW as well. So, good on him. But I hope he wins gold in AEW soon. TNT title, then the world title. He deserves it. The guy's busted his ass, and he's been consistent since arriving. There was a time where he went away for some time and was involved in some silly stuff and you know things here and there. It wasn't really serious, and then all of a sudden he finally said, "I'm fucking sick of this. I'm gonna get serious," and he starts beating the hell out of everybody. Here we are, rewarded with the IWGP US title. Happy for him. Congratulations to Lance Archer. And to AEW, really great event. Great episode of Dynamite. Then Fight for the Fallen is next week. I'm looking forward to that. Well, that's my video. I'm tired. Got home pretty late. But that was my video, and for those of you who stopped by, checked it out, appreciate it. Thank you very much. And in closing, as always, take care.